I am here today and I thought that it would be fun for me to show you my palette collection. I have tons of eyeshadow palettes. Of course, I don't have as many as like a beauty guru would, but I definitely have more than what your average girl would have. So I thought that I would just kind of go through them with you, show you the ones that I have, talk to you about what are, you know, like my favorites and that sort of thing. I think I probably have some that are pretty similar to what most people have that love makeup. But yeah, I just thought we could do that and I thought it'd be a fun video. So let's get started. I want to go ahead and start with just the palettes that I've created myself. To begin with, I was subscribed to BoxyCharm for a while, and while I was subscribed, they did a palette with Ofra. And so it's basically just, you know, a clear window on the front. Let me move this. I have that across there. It just says Ofra Pro. And while we were, or while I was getting the subscription box, they also sent some shadows and a banana powder to us in BoxyCharm from Ofra. And so I just used the handy dandy palette that came with it. It's a magnetic palette with a clear front, just like, you know, a Z palette or whatever. I thought this was great. This is wonderful. But I just keep these that are all Ofra, and then this Ofra banana powder. If I ever need another banana powder, I mean, and I don't typically use banana powder, but I have it just stuck in there. But yeah, I have that. I thought that was kind of neat to have that one. Now these two are my Makeup Geek palettes that I have used, and it just says Makeup Geek and Z palette. So I got these when I purchased the actual shadows. The first time I purchased shadows from Makeup Geek, I went ahead and bought 2 of these. So I don't think you can find this particular palette anymore. It is kind of a rose gold design, kind of Art Deco like or whatever. But anyway, this is the one that I use the most of. This is the one, it's a mess. You really probably won't be able to tell, but I do have my favorites. That's Orange Smoothie right there, and it's got a big old hole dug in it. There's quite a few of these. I mean, for a while there, I was stuck on this palette. It was pulled out, and it was the only thing I ever used. I used this for everything, and you can see that I have my matte color here, like from all over. I have lots of different transition colors that I can use, colors that I can warm up with, or cooler colors if I choose to. This dark color right here works really good. It's just a average brown. I wouldn't say that it's terribly warm or terribly cool. I think you can make it work for either one. But I just have some of my favorite colors, these brighter colors. These 2 blues here are favorites of mine. And I also love, this is kind of a purplish mauve color. Love that one. So that one is full, and that is all Makeup Geek. And then I also have this one that is full of Makeup Geek, and I usually would pull it out mostly just for this black one here. I think it's called like Obsidian or something like that, but this is the one where I keep all of my really colorful shadows at. This is the palette that I pulled out when I did the blue eye look on my channel one time. And if I'm not mistaken, I've used this green right here, that one. I don't even remember. Let me see what this one's called. It is gorgeous. Poison Ivy. It is beautiful. Some of these colors you may not can even get anymore, but I just took, that's my more neutral palette, and this is the one that I go to when I need a pop of color. And so I don't get as much use out of this one as I do the other one, but I like all the colors that are in here. I mean, I've just not found a bad one in the bunch. They're all really pretty. The grays that are all along the bottom here with the white and the black on each end, it's sort of like a gradient effect in my palette here. I love all of these right in here. These are kind of like plum tones, beautiful, beautiful shadows. And, you know, if you ever really want a really bright inner corner, the white here at the bottom, this white, I mean, it's just plain stark white. It's really good for an inner corner if you don't want to use like something that has a glitter or a shimmer to it. So you can also put just a tiny little bit of it right underneath the edge of your brow, on your brow bone, and it works out really good too. So those are all of the palettes that I have that like are not, you know, like pre-made. So the next ones I thought I would go through are my small ones. I do have just a couple of just small palettes. Let me get them all in my lap here. Let me make sure that I got them all. Nope, I didn't think so. Let me grab them all. Okay, the first one that I want to talk about is from Laura Geller. I bought this in like a little gift set or whatever. It is the baked eye pie, and it says birthday cake trio. You can see, guys, I hit pan. It's just like a baked, and it's of course on that little ceramic tile bottom or whatever. Yes, I use the heck out of this. I love Laura Geller products. I really do. I mean, I've never had any problems with any of her products. I just tend to get stuck on one palette for a long period of time and kind of forget what I have, but I really like this. I might pull it back out and use it. So I have that from Laura Geller. Then I have a couple from Revlon, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a huge Revlon or Maybelline girl when it comes to eyeshadow. This one I did use though. It was one that I mean, I've had this for forever, and I basically just have kept it just for who knows what reason. But I mean, I'm almost hitting pan on all those colors. This is the Revlon Color Stay 12 Hour in neutral khakis. So you get browns and then like the khaki green color. I went through a stage where that's the only colors I wanted to wear, and I just wore them all the time. The other one that I have here is the same thing, the Color Stay 12 Hour eyeshadow. This is Nude Elements. This one is neutrals with, it's kind of a steel gray at the top, and it's really good for darkening up the outer corner. But I can see that I've only passed through it maybe a few times. I bet I've worn this less than a handful of times, just enough, you know, to kind of mess up the pattern across the top of it, but that's all. So it's just sort of in my collection sitting there, pretty much collecting dust. The other things that I have two small ones. Let's see, let's get through these. This one is from L'Oreal. This is their Color Riche, and it is in the color Perpetual Nude. Guys, I have barely touched this. I used a lot of this color here. It's really pretty. But it's, you know, the problem is that they're all satins. And so I kind of forget to go for this one if I've got other things out, because it doesn't have, I mean, this color here is not dark enough. That one is not dark enough to darken up the outer corner, and there's no matte for the, you know, transition or anything like that. So I don't really think about it that much. This one, I've had this one so long, guys. This is the Clinique. I've had it for forever. It came in some sort of little, it's called Sparkling Sage. It has this little cheapy thing in it that I actually used, believe it or not, before. I mean, I either used one of these or I used my fingers for my eyes most of the time when I was, you know, before I really got into makeup like heavy. I mean, I didn't even have any brushes. You know, I used what they gave me. Or whatever. This is a really pretty color brown that's in there. The problem with this one again though is that they're all satins, so they don't really since there's nothing to really put through the crease, you know, it's kind of hard. So the other one that I have from the drugstore is just a duo from Maybelline. This one is called Indian Summer. This is like my second or third one to go through, actually, to not like that many Maybelline or drugstore products from like Maybelline or I don't like CoverGirl at all. But this is like probably my third Indian Summer that I've gone through. It is just a really pretty creamy color and a nice dark brown. And when I just wanted to do something that was really, really simple, especially when I was working or whatever, I used this all the time. And it was just because it was easy. I could grab it. I could throw something through the crease. you know, kind of lighten up my eyes all over. Throw something through the crease just a little bit, mostly in the outer corner. Just kind of bring it in just a little bit. Throw on some liner and some mascara and run out the door because I was always running late. Okay, the other thing that I have that is drugstore, that's more of a smaller palette that is absolutely unbelievable. And this is my second one of this. This is the all infamous Comfort Zone palette from Wet n Wild, and I love this palette. This is my second one, and I have been hoarding it. I've used it a little bit, but not enough to get the words off of it or anything like that. I love this palette. I'm hoarding it because I love it so much. This right here is, I mean, this duochrome, oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. Every color in here is brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's, you know, labeled brow bone, eyelid, crease, definer. I love this palette. If you can find this in the store, and they're hard to find because everybody loves them and they're so well priced, but if you can find a Comfort Zone, it's the color icon from Wet n Wild. If you can find one of these, you need to get it. You need one in your life. It needs to be part of your stash because I know that I can always go to this, and I love this one. So my other one, I had one that burned up in our house fire back when years ago when I was married, and then I had another one since then that I used up. I found that one, purchased it, but now I'm like scared to touch it because I love it so much. But yet, I mean, that's silly because if I don't use it, what good is it? You know what I mean? But anyway, that's one of my favorites. Now I do have a couple of small ones that are more high-end. I have 2 duos and a quad from Bare Minerals. So let's look at the duos. The first one is called the Top Shelf, and it's got Mixologist and Cognac. Oh my gosh, these are so gorgeous. I love the packaging. It's that rubber, you know, tacky feeling or whatever. But these are 2 really pretty shadows. They are both shimmers, so you do have to, you know, kind of have some other shadows that go with it, but I really love those. Went through a time when I was using those a lot. The other one I have is Epiphany, so it's got Aha and Foreshadow in it, and these are some really pretty browns. You have like just a matte brown there, and then you can see the shine on that other one. They are beautiful. I've used this one, gosh, I don't know how many times, but I really do like it. All right, and then the quad that I have from Bare Minerals is called The Truth. So you have Serendipitous and Magnetism, Fate, and Apropos, I believe is the way you say that word. But you can see a trend here that I have with my my Bare Minerals. I mean, it's just, they're all very similar, but I like Bare Minerals. I just don't use these very much. But, and I mean, I'm just that way when it comes to the small palettes, you know, like the quads and the duos and, you know, some that have like the 5 in there and that sort of thing. I just tend not to use those as much. The other 2 that I have are from NARS, and they're duos, and let me tell you, I love these. Okay, the first one I want to talk to you about is, if you don't have this in your collection, I think you need it. And you don't have to love bright color to enjoy this one. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This one is called Kawaii, and it is purple, and it has this green. These colors, guys, oh my God, they are gorgeous. I mean, they really are so pretty. It's almost like a greenish gold, and then you have this purple. Oh my gosh. Guys, I just can't tell you. These are stunning. And again, this is Kawaii from NARS. I absolutely love this. I love doing a look with this. And I probably need to get it out and use it more often because I love it so much. It is a beautiful, beautiful duo. The other one that I have, unfortunately, is a limited edition. It is from the Stephen Kane, or Christopher Kane, I'm sorry. I started to say Stephen Klein because I have a couple of products from there, but not eye products. This is a duo from the Christopher Kane collab, and this one is called Parallel Universe. This right here is the reason I really would love to have the new Becca Beachy Ocean line, or whatever it is that's out for the summer. I would love to have those, but because I have these, I don't need those. So these again are from the they're called Parallel Universe. That they are the most beautiful. They are so much like the new Becca. I mean, they're just beautiful. And you can see there, they are great to use as toppers. And they're so much like what Becca has just come out with that I can't, you know, warrant getting those from Becca as much as I want them. I mean, I'm a beachy girl, so anything that is ocean themed or beachy themed, of course I want to use them and get them and hoard them all and love them. But I mean, I have those and they're pretty much, they look identical. So I can't, you know, I can't justify it. So I'm just going to use those as toppers when it gets to be warmer weather and the summer's actually here. Then what I'll do is I'll use some of maybe my Makeup Geek mattes and then I'll put those on top and give it a little sparkle, and that's the way that I'll use those. Okay, now moving on, let's get into a little bit bigger. Let's go into, I have a bunch of these tins that are from Too Faced. One of them is not actually a tin because it's old. This is the Too Faced Romantic Eye palette. It's the one that has the little ribbon here and you pull it out and up. I haven't used a whole lot of it, but it's one of my favorites out of the little small palettes from Too Faced. I just think it's so pretty. It's just got that really sweet princess pink and purple with the darker color just to darken up that outer corner a bit. I really think it's a sweet palette. I love the packaging. It's floral. Anything floral I love, of course. So there's that. And then we go into a couple of these that I have had. Now this one you can no longer get. It I guess was limited edition or they just quit making it. But it's the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette. I love this one. And I love it because this bubblegum flavor here, I have used it. I use it wet. I use it dry. I love that bright pink color. I love using it on my lower lash line. It's so pretty, and I also have used the heck out of this Malted Milk Ball. It's slick because I've used it mostly wet with Fix Plus, and yeah, and then of course Sweet and Spicy, this one right here at the top, that one, it's really a great all over lid color. So I have that one and I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon. Another one that was kind of trendy for a while is the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. I have it. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. I haven't used it in a long time, but when I first got it, I used it a lot. It reminds me a lot, the colors in it remind me a lot of the Naked Heat palette. And yeah, I mean, I just really loved it. This is right here, this color, oh my God, that gold is stunning. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So absolutely beautiful. I love it. And it does have that nice smell that Too Faced is kind of known for. I have the Too Faced Boudoir Eyes. This one has seen better days, guys. It is such a mess. I don't know if you can see what a mess it is. I mean, like this one, I used it and then it started breaking, and so now it's kind of falling down into the darker shadow here. This one has seen better days. I used the crap out of this thing, and now it's just sort of destroyed. But I just don't have the heart to get rid of it because it brings back memories of, you know, like a long time ago, and I just really like it. It just says Soft and Sexy Eyeshadow Collection, but I really like it. Boudoir Eyes really does, you know, that's a great I think a great name for it. And then I have the Too Faced Natural Matte one. This one is, oh gosh, this one is also broken. It's just not crumbling quite as bad as the other one. I really like this. If you like warm tones, I don't even know if you can get the Natural Matte still. I know they're coming out with so many different new ones, but this is mine. And I absolutely love it. This is called Moody, this light brown here through the crease. I was just in love with that for the longest time. I used it all the time. So that will be all of my Too Faced little tins, you know, that kind of style packaging or whatever. As far as Too Faced, staying on the Too Faced, staying in that ballpark, I have the chocolate bar palettes, of course. Not too long ago, I pulled out my chocolate bar palette and did a look for you guys. But this is my chocolate bar palette, and it doesn't look like much has been used because you've got to understand that I don't put makeup on every day, and when I do put makeup on, I've got such a huge collection to choose from that I just don't use it on a regular basis. So that's why I pulled it out and used it the other day. when I had all of these palettes before, was before our house fire. And so I lost all of my makeup. My entire collection went up literally in smoke. And so I went out and repurchased my oldie but goodies, is what I call them. And so, of course, I went out and bought my Too Faced chocolate bar. I mean, just the smell alone is amazing. But yeah, I mean, guys, I love this palette. I had to have it back in my collection when I was rebuilding my collection after our house fire. And so I did. I had to have it. So there's that one. And then, of course, the Semi-Sweet Chocolate palette is here. And I really like it. I have put a pretty good dent in it, considering no more than I've used it. But it smells wonderful. There are certain colors in here that I kind of go for. I'll think, you know, when I'm doing something, I'll think, oh, you know what? I need to pull up the Semi-Palette because, I call it the Semi-Palette, the Semi-Sweet palette because of that one particular color. And one of those is this color right in the center here. It's called Pudding. It's a really pretty matte, deep matte brown. Oh my gosh, I love that color for deepening up the outer corner. And I also like this color. It's called Nougat. I've used the crap out of it too. I really like it. It's another matte, but I really love the way those smell. I do have the Too Faced Bon Bon palette. I don't really get this out. In fact, there's only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5 colors in here that I've even touched. It just was not my favorite, you know, but I mean, I spent a lot of money on it and I didn't want to just give it away. So I still have it. It smells good. I need to probably start, I mean, there is this bright pink color in here. So I need to probably bring this out. I mean, there's 2 really pretty pinks. Satin Sheets, this one right here, that's a really pretty color. Again, I don't think to pull it out because I have others that I tend to get kind of stuck on. And one of them that I tend to get kind of stuck on is, of course, my peach palette. Oh my gosh. This was, I mean, like, I have 2, like, no doubt, absolute fave palettes from Too Faced. And the peach palette is one of them. In fact, it's in my top 3 all-time favorite palettes, period. I absolutely love this. I don't use it as often as I really should. I tend to gravitate toward this more in the spring or summer though, and that's why I haven't had it that long. I've only had it since it launched, and since I only really want to wear these colors in the spring and summer, I've not, you know, dug into it like as much as you would think, considering how much I love it. I love the colors in this palette. I love the smell. I know a lot of people think it's too fake peach or whatever, the scent, but I love it. I just really do. And you can call it gimmicky or whatever, but I really love it. I think it's just beautiful. Of course, I have colors in here that you can see I've dug into way more. I like Nectar is one of my favorite colors in here. It's a golden color, and yeah, there are a couple of colors in here that you can see I definitely tend to go towards, but this is going to be in my top 3 palettes of all time that I absolutely love. It always will be. Then the last Too Faced palette that I have that was really, I feel like, a waste of money for me, I have the Love palette from Too Faced. You know, the whole idea was a love letter and that sort of thing. And the shadows, if I can get it open. So I have a hard time opening this one. This one has the liner inside right here. There's the black liner. You can see I actually went pretty hard into this one right here. I mean, I don't know if you can see just how deep I went into that one. That gold color is really beautiful. But is this palette, and I also went in really heavy with this one here. I don't know if you can see just how deep I've gone into it. But I mean, overall, I've not even touched this liner. And if you think about the fact that I've really focused on 2 shadows out of the whole palette, it really wasn't worth my money. But I mean, you know, I used to be a Too Faced collector. I would just buy just because it was Too Faced, but I kind of got over that. I kind of outgrew my Too Faced stage, I guess you could say. Even though, you know, I'm always going to love my peach palette. This one is just a whack to me because I ended up not really loving it like I thought I would. But I've kept it in my collection. You know, I just don't want to just giveaway stuff, you know, so yeah. Okay, let's move into, I have a few Kat Von D things. Oh, I found another Too Faced, one of these. This is the Smoky Eye from Too Faced. I give this one a good little work through, and I know you can't really tell it, but it's dug out pretty good. I just don't tend to go for these cool blue and gray tones with the black. It's a beautiful palette. I'll never get rid of it because, like I said, I kind of tend to collect these or whatever. But I do have, you know, another smoky palette we're going to talk about here in just a minute that I really actually like more. But I'll definitely never get rid of this one. It means a lot to me. It's still in the old packaging with the little ribbon. I just love it. So, yeah, there's that one left. Now, these are the ones that I have from Kat Von D. And one of these is my other in my top 3. And that would be this one, which is the Monarch palette. This is the best, most wonderful ever palette ever. I know that they no longer sell this. You can no longer get this. And the next one I'm going to talk about, you can no longer get. I don't know why she took these 2 palettes off the market because they are absolutely the best ever. They are gorgeous. Let me just show you. I actually, when I found out that, and see, this one's new because I replaced it, but I stopped using it when I found out that it was no longer available because I was digging into mine every single day. I was going after it hard. I mean, anybody that has this palette will tell you that this is the highest quality, most beautiful palette that you could ever have. It is stunning. In fact, I might use this to do I want to do another one of my videos where I do the cocktail series. I may end up using this for one of those. I think this one would be a good one to use for maybe tequila sunrise or something, maybe. But yeah, this is a gorgeous palette, guys. It has everything in here that you need. These colors are unbelievably pigmented. No fallout though, really. Best formula and an eyeshadow palette ever. I love this palette. I can't imagine why they quit, you know, producing these. They stayed sold out all the time. And I suspect that maybe she will one day bring them back is why. So, I don't know, but they were huge sellers. And even when I went to replace mine after our fire, I had a hard time finding them. So, you know, there's that. This is the other one that you can no longer get. This is the Chrysalis palette. So it is the same basic idea. It's just a different color scheme. I have just a couple of, oh gosh, what a mess. And there's a crack in the big one. Okay, I'm going to try to do it like this. Okay, this is, of course, purples with some, you have some grays. Oh gosh, what a mess. There's hair even in these. But this blue here is like a royal blue satin. It is gorgeous. And of course, these are the ones that I've used the most out of, along with this one. You can kind of see that it's smeared across there. This is one of the most beautiful palettes ever, just like the Monarch palette. I don't know why they stopped producing these. The only thing I can think of is one day she's going to bring them back because they are gorgeous. They were worth twice what I paid, and they weren't cheap. I mean, Kat Von D palettes are just notoriously more expensive, but I mean, the quality is just unbelievable. And because I love those so much, I went with the Shade and Light Eye palette. This was a favorite too, and I've smeared all over it. You can't really see in the camera how much is smeared, but this is just my Shade and Light Eye palette from Kat Von D, and you know, I figured if I loved those that much, that this, because it's in the same style as those, that was probably the same formula and that sort of thing. So I tested it in store. I kind of felt of them and everything, and they were just as smooth as those and everything. The only thing is that this is an all matte palette, and those are not. They do have some shimmers in there, and that I think is what gives them that little step above. I know a lot of people don't really like this one, but I think it's the shade range in this one that more people object to than it is, you know, like anything else. So there's that. Okay, let's move into the only one I have here of this brand. I got this in a BoxyCharm. This is Studio Makeup On The Go eyeshadow palette. And I've dug into this. It is like mauves and purples with, you know, a few like champagne peachy colors. I like this one a lot. I haven't used it much, but this is the palette that has kept me from purchasing the MAC one that has the same similar color scheme to it, because the colors are so similar that I can't warrant buying the MAC palette, even though it's got like 30 shadows in it or whatever it is. But this one, because I have these colors already from a BoxyCharm, I just haven't purchased the MAC palette, even though I really wanted it. When I got this one, I thought, well, those colors are so similar. And I thought, I'll just see how much I use it. And if I use it as much as I think I will, then, you know, I can get the MAC palette and I'll feel like I've spent my money well. I haven't used it that much. I do love these colors and I love to wear these colors, but mostly in the fall, and I've really not used it as much. So, no to the MAC shadows. Okay, I do have two from Makeup Forever. They are awesome. These are very high quality. They are the artist shadows. I have 1 and 2. They look like this. They have the numbers on the back. I don't know why they do numbers instead of names at Makeup Forever, but anyway, these are some of the higher quality shadows that you will find. I really like them. I think that they're great, you know, great quality. They have great pigment and that sort of thing. They're very easily blended. This one, these could fall in the plum or mauve category, but I would just consider this more of a neutral. Whereas this one, volume 2, it looks like this. This is the one that is much more bright, colorful, and editorial, if you ask me. I liked this just because I did like these colors. I mean, you can see the one I used the most. I use this top 2 the most of any of them. Of course, I did enjoy this one down here. But yeah, I mean, the colors are beautiful. That one color is a duochrome and it is beautiful. This is perfect for Halloween, and when you're looking for, excuse me, I have a hair in the corner of my mouth for my hair. Sorry. But this is great for when I'm trying to do a specific look for a specific reason, or for Halloween or anything like that, when you want a really bright color and a pop to really show. I have found that this really neon pink color here, if you put it on your lower lash line, you do look sick. But I mean, it's perfect for that. So there's that. Okay, now let's go into Urban Decay, and then we'll finish up with Morphe and Lorac. Okay, so of course I have the OG. I have all of the Naked palettes. So I have the first Naked, and again, these are going to look new, but they were replacements. So, but this one has gotten way more use than the other two. I just tend to go into, I mean, let's face it, I mean, Naked and Half Baked, those are my favorites out of this, obviously. They're everybody's favorites. I do have the Naked 2. I don't think no, this is the one that I have used a lot. So, of course, I have the Naked 2, and then I have the Naked 3. I've used this one quite a bit. But I also have the Smoky Naked palette, and I've not touched this. I mean, I've used it, but then it was like when I got over it, I was over it, and I've not touched it again. So I really just don't, you know, the colors in here are unique and everything to the, as far as the Naked line is concerned, but there's, you know, quite a few colors in here that I haven't touched, and the ones that I have touched I used heavily, but I mean, it's just like I used it and never went back to it. So I really hate that. I would say that my other top 3, you know, that the Peach palette is one. The Monarch palette from Kat Von D is one of my top 3. This is my other in my top 3, and it's the Heat palette. I love this palette, guys. Oh my God, I love this palette. This palette is stunning. I am a whore for warm tone colors. This is gorgeous. There are some people that don't think they need it or they don't want it, but I can tell you, if you get it in your life, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. If you like neutral warm tones, this will be your jam, and this is my jam. I love this palette so much. I just love it, and I would never part with it. There's just no way. It's definitely one of my top 3. Okay, I almost forgot a couple of palettes. I do have the Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette. This one has a specific purpose in my collection, and that is because I have these bright colors and I need these when I'm doing a specific look, whether it's for Halloween or my cocktail series or something like that. These are just not your everyday wearable kind of colors, but they're very high quality. I get a lot of pigment and color payoff from them, and I love having this just because it's so unlike any of the other things that I have. So I am glad that I have this. Would I buy it again? Probably so, just because it's so unique. You know what I'm saying? It was expensive, but for what I use it for, I think it's worthwhile. Okay, so then I have from Too Faced the Stardust palette from Vegas Nay. I don't get any use out of this. I did at one time. But I don't anymore. But I do have this one. It's a beautiful palette. I know a lot of people hyped it up and talked about it. If I had to do it again, would I buy it? No. But I do like that I have it now that I do have it. You know, I went into it. Showgirl and Jackpot were among my favorites. And of course, Pink Pearl were a favorite too. Pink Pearl will be a really pretty color to layer over a pink matte for the spring. But yeah, I probably wouldn't buy this one again, but it's collectible now, so I guess I'll keep it. And then this is another huge favorite of mine. This is the Modern Renaissance palette. This is the only ABH palette that I own. I really want the Soft Glam. I want that one so bad because I know the quality of this one. And if you can see, I mean, I don't know if you can see or not, just how much I've dug into some. I mean, like this one right here is going to hit pan. I love this. And I love the red tones with the browns and golds. It's very regal, if you ask me. And I think that the name Modern Renaissance is perfect for that because it is very regal. Does remind me of the Renaissance period and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's the only ABH palette that I own. But yeah, so if I had to do this one, I would definitely get it again. I love this palette. And plus, it has very special meaning to me for a specific reason. And that friend don't know what that meaning is. Now, I do get stuck on some Lorac palettes though. So I have these palettes that are all Lorac palettes. Of course, I have the original Lorac, which it's really dirty. It's a mess or whatever. You can see I mean, it's not that I've used that much of it. It's just that it gets really dirty and that sort of thing. And you can see that, I mean, I've gone into every single color. And some of them are dug out pretty deep. Probably would crack if I dropped it. But that's the original that I have. I don't seem to use it as much. Then, of course, there's the second one. And I put some hurt on it too. You know, it's beautiful. I like it, but I never really did get stuck on it. This one though, the third one, yeah, hit pan on several of them. Really love these. You can't really tell that I've hit pan on that one. It's kind of, actually there's 3 that it looks like if I blew hard on it that it would probably hit pan, but I got hooked on this one and I have used it over and over, day after day after day, just for a go-to normal neutral eye. It's really quick. I had to go from clay. I moved from clay to cool taupe. And so I've been working hard on it and it's beginning to show wear. I really do love dark brown and dark mocha. Medallion, almond pearl, and light gold. All of these 3 on the bottom are faves. They're dug out big time. Some that I have that are just straight up collector's items that I really don't need them, but just thought I had to have them, even though I do love them, don't get me wrong. There's just very few that have been used, and that's the original Lorac Pro. I do have this one, and you know, I think that it's really great to have a good variety of colors, but good Lord, I've got plenty, you know. But I had already purchased this before some of these others. I mean, I had that before I had any of my Makeup Geek shadows, so yeah. Well, then this one came out, and I was like, I gotta have it. It's a Lorac Pro. I've got to have it. So, I mean, it's so dirty, guys. That's the only thing about Lorac packaging is it gets dirty. And you can see every smear and everything. I really did like the color selection in this one, but it stays up on the top of my Alex 9, and I forget it's there, and I never use it. And the same goes for this one. I have this Lorac palette. I don't have the latest one, but these are the first three. This one has more of the neutral rosy gold kind of colors in it. This is definitely way more my jam than the first two. I have used this one way more than I've used the first two. But I tend to forget about these because, like I said, they're on top of my Alex 9, which is over there. I just tend to forget they're there. And I hate that, but it is what it is. The last palette for me to show you is the one that I did this look on in, and I just got it. Well, I've had it for a while, but I just used it for the first time and did my very first swatch video using this one, and that was the Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe. I did get this one, and I did get it recently. You'll be seeing a video go up at some point soon where I do swatch it. I go over and kind of review it, and I did this look that I'm wearing now. So I have this. And the only thing is that, you know, in the video, like I said, I really wish they had put the names on the packaging and not this card, because this is going to be kind of hard to keep up with. But anyway, that is the end of my palette collection. Guys, I've got so many eyeshadows. I will never use all of these eyeshadows. I won't touch all of these eyeshadows in my lifetime. But I do love all of the ones that I have. I have decluttered so many palettes over the last few years, just in an attempt to actually find a place to put them. So if I buy an eyeshadow palette, like the Heat palette, for example, or the Jaclyn Hill, it's because I really feel like I'm going to use it. And when I purchased the Jaclyn Hill palette, it was because I knew I was going to be doing the cocktail series, and there were some really bright, pretty color shades in here, and I thought, well, you know, that's going to really help me when I start doing some really tropical drinks. I need some colors to kind of bring in. I already knew that I liked Morphe palettes. I used to have a ton of the black, like 35 pan palettes, but I've decluttered those. I've gotten rid of those. I've either sold them or given them away and things like that. So I used to have a lot more palettes than this, guys, but it is what it is. You know, even though some of them I feel like were a waste of money, they're either a collector's piece now and I just wouldn't want to get rid of them, or, you know, I don't know. I'm sentimental that way. They make me think of certain times in my life and that sort of thing. So, yeah. So even though it doesn't look like I really use them that much, just please keep in mind that some of them are really old favorites that I had when they first come out, but I don't have the original because my house burned down. I had so many people when I did my perfume collection, which was like my first video ever, and they're like, you haven't used anything. Well, I had just replaced everything because it had only been 6 months since our house fire, and I had just replaced all my perfumes. And yeah, I went out and bought all of my perfumes back that I love. And I got so much criticism on that one. You've not even touched those. And I was like, but they're brand new. So anyway, don't crucify me in the comments because they don't like they're very used. I don't wear makeup every day. And when I don't wear makeup every day, I'm not going out into work every day. And so I'm not using a palette every day. But the ones that I do use, I do get kind of stuck on, like that one Lorac palette, for example. But even though I really truly love them, it's because I probably had them before and I just repurchased because I knew I enjoyed them. So keep that in mind before you get me in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope that you did. And if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Please like and subscribe, share. Definitely subscribe if you're new. I would love for you to be a part of my YouTube family. I'm trying to put out more beauty/lifestyle content. I like OG YouTube videos where you did your empties and you do your collections and you do your thises and your that's, you know, that sort of thing. I'm not going to be coming out with my own makeup line. I'm not going to be reviewing brand new makeup that often because honestly, I just don't have the money to go out and buy it. And especially when I already have such a large collection anyway. So if I buy something, it's because I'm in love. So I just wanted you guys to know that that as a little disclaimer or whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will talk to you later. Bye.